Good morning. So I wanted to talk today about essential oils and some of the myths that surround essential oils and the use of essential oils. So I'm going to give you the top three. Please, during this video, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to type those and I'll try to answer those. So I made some notes just so that I didn't forget anything. But the first myth that I want to start with, and probably the most common thing that I hear, is that they just don't work. That there is no therapeutic benefit to the use of essential oils. And I will be the first to admit that when I first started using essential oils, or really before I started using them, I didn't know a lot about them, first of all. Second of all, I certainly didn't think that they had therapeutic benefit. If you told me, oh, you could use this essential oil for some stomach discomfort you were having, then, I would probably say, well, how does that even work? So once I started using them, I really started to see what a huge therapeutic benefit they could have. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting that they will take the place of, traditional medicine in any way, but I think that if we can merge the two and think about listening to our bodies and supporting our bodies in a healthy way, that we can treat and heal minor illnesses and just support our body so that it can heal itself, because really that's what our bodies were meant to do anyway. That's the way God created our bodies. So again, going back to, there's no such thing as a therapeutic grade essential oil. Well, their essential oils are not regulated. There's no governing body, right? So there's no institution that, certifies or regulates essential oils. So really, when you are purchasing an essential oil, you're really taking the word for the company that, what they have on the label is truly what is in that oil. And labels are certainly, to me, very misleading. You go into a store and you see something like 100% pure or organic or all natural. I mean, what does that really mean? It's not controlled and it's not regulated. So this kind of brings me to my second point, is that quality does not matter. And I have really seen this, and I've heard from other people who have used different types of essential oils from different companies, that once they kind of get their hands on a really pure essential oil, that they can tell a huge difference. Now, you probably know that I've chosen to align myself with a company called doTERRA, and doTERRA has, in my opinion, the highest quality and the best essential oils on the market. And I'll tell you kind of what really sets them apart a little bit from other companies. So when you're looking at the purity and the quality of an essential oil, it's really about where that plant, the oil was taken from, where it is grown, where it's sourced, and also the testing that's done on the oil before it comes to you and before you use it on your body. So one thing that really sets doTERRA apart is the way that they source their oils. So they source their oils from where they natively grow, from their indigenous environment, meaning that, if we went and we tried to take some oil from a plant that was planted not in optimal conditions, meaning climate, environment, we wouldn't have as high of a quality as if we sourced oil from a plant that was grown with the perfect environment, the perfect climate, weather conditions. That makes perfect sense, right? So that's what doTERRA does. They are committed to sourcing their oils from their indigenous environments. And then they also thoroughly test the oils. So they do what's called third-party testing. So they test their oils at the site, they test them within the company back at the plant, and then they also send them to a third party, an unbiased third party. And the reason for this is to be sure that there are no chemicals, pesticides, residue, that there's nothing there but a pure, high quality essential oil. And if you think about it, if you're wanting to take your health into your own hands and use a natural product to help your body heal itself, then most likely you are not wanting to put more chemicals and toxins into your body, right? You're wanting to support your body in a healthy, natural way. Well, let's say you have an essential oil that was sprayed with chemicals and pesticides and residue, or has some residue on it. When that is sourced, the oils become very concentrated, but also any chemicals or pesticides or residue become concentrated in that oil. So what you're actually doing is consuming more toxins and chemicals if you don't have a pure, high quality oil. So if you are looking to support your body in a healthy way, then my guess is you're not wanting to consume more toxins and chemicals. And we know that anything that we put on our skin goes directly into our bloodstream, right? So, our skin is our largest organ. Anything that we apply to the skin, it's going directly into the bloodstream. So eliminating those toxins and chemicals is key. So I think that first and foremost is education, knowing where your oils come from, that it's a source that you trust, and that you're getting the highest quality and the purest product available. I know I have not personally tried other companies, but I've had people come to classes and talk about the fact that they can just tell through the smell of a doTERRA essential oil versus another company, say that they bought at the health food store even, that they can really tell not only from the smell, but then also from the fact that they had to use much more of that oil to get the desired effect, even if they did get the desired effect. So I think that kind of goes back to the first myth, is that they don't work. And often I think it's because people have not tried a truly pure, high quality oil. And if you get the best, then you're going to see great results. And I want to speak to one other thing as far as the efficacy of the oils and the therapeutic benefit. There are lots of research studies. If you're a person who likes to look at research and really wants that evidence and support there, you can look up on, say, PubMed. doTERRA Science is another great resource that you can look, and you'll see that there are tons of research studies. Lots of large medical institutions around the country are using these in their institution. I just want to give you a couple of examples of ways that they can be used and that there is proven research that they work. Lavender is a very common one. Most of us are all familiar with lavender, and that it has very calming and soothing effects. There are research studies looking at the use of lavender in dental patients, and that lavender has been proven to reduce feelings of anxiety and stress in patients who come in for dental procedures or just minor cleaning. That lavender, again, has been proven to decrease stress and anxiety. There are also studies looking at nausea, that ginger and peppermint have powerful effects on reducing nausea, especially in a post-operative patient. There are studies looking at antimicrobial benefits to many of the essential oils, and that's one of the reasons that they are used throughout medical institutions around the country. So those are just kind of some things that you might want to think about if you're into research and you really want to have that support there and that science there, then look that up. And there are many more studies coming out in major medical journals in the future, in the near future, actually. So my third point is that they're too expensive. That is the third myth that I hear very often, is that, oh, these just cost too much, I can't afford them. Well, I'd like to help you think about this in a different way. I think it's really all mindset, and it's about really shifting your mindset. So if we choose to not take care of our health now, okay, then we're most likely going to pay for that later on, right? So one way or another, you're going to end up paying, whether it's money, that's one thing, but then also, who wants to be sick? Who wants to develop some type of chronic illness that could have maybe been prevented through taking care of your health in a natural way? So think about that. And then I want to give you kind of some examples. Some of you maybe have heard these examples before. So Melaleuca, I want to use that as my example today. Melaleuca is also known as tea tree oil. And tea tree oil or Melaleuca, it has very high antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal properties. And Melaleuca is probably the most common oil that's used for ear discomfort, okay? So let's take for instance, many of you probably watching are moms, and we know that moms are, most often the ones that are in control of the family's health and, what our kids and even our husbands put into their bodies and just how the overall health of the family is taken care of, right? So let's say as a mom, you have a child who has some ear discomfort and you need to take off work to take your child to a medical provider to have their ear checked. Let's say you go in and they say that they need an antibiotic. So then you've taken off work, you've potentially lost time taking off work, right? You've gone and you've probably had to pay a copay to see that medical provider. And then you've gotten a prescription maybe for an antibiotic. You've taken that to the pharmacy and probably had to pay a copay for that. That all really adds up, right? I mean, that could be hundreds, that could be over $100 right there. So I want to give you an example of, let's say that you had some tools like essential oils to use and you could have avoided all of that, okay? You could have helped your child heal quicker without any chemicals and toxins being added to their body. And you could have avoided paying all those dollars, taking time off work and copays. So this happens to be lemongrass that I just had right here, but I want to give you an example. So this little 15 milliliter bottle has approximately 270, 275 drops in it, okay? And because these oils are so concentrated and pure, a little bit goes a long way. So they really last a long time. You typically only need 1 to 3 drops per application to treat or support whatever it is. So we're taking the case of ear discomfort. So let's say this was Melaleuca and I had some Melaleuca and I used 1 to 3 drops, placed it around the ear 2 to 3 times a day, typically 2 to 3 days, and that will help the body heal from that ear discomfort. 1 drop of Melaleuca cost 8 cents. 8 cents. So you do the math on that. I mean, that is a few dollars, right? And not to mention the fact that it is cost effective, number one. Number two, you have just helped your child avoid any added chemicals and toxins and things that could potentially be harmful to the body. So I think that, looking at it from a standpoint of taking your health into your own hands and being very proactive, that's really where essential oils come in. I like to look at it as they're just really another notch in your tool belt of health, right? Of things that you have to help keep your family healthy and to treat and support the body in anything that comes up. And that is really a very powerful feeling. I mean, I have seen that in my home for the last 3.5 to 4 years, and it's just truly amazing. Now, had you have told me when I started using these 3.5 years ago or before that I would feel this way now, no, I would have thought you were crazy. I was extremely skeptical when I started using essential oils, but time after time after time, I have seen them heal. I've seen the power that they have. And I think that if you, again, let me just recap, get a high quality, pure essential oil, you too will see what great benefit this can have for you and your family. So Top 3 myths: that they don't work, that quality doesn't matter, and that they're too expensive. And I hope that I have busted some of those myths for you guys. Let me know if you have questions about essential oils. We are going to have some online classes coming up that we'd love for you to join if you want to learn more. Just, education is really powerful. Knowledge is power. And if you don't know, then you can't do better, right? So I hope this has helped you in some way. Let me know how we can help you with education in the future. Have a great day, guys. Bye.